What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a great Friday. I hope everybody is going to have a great weekend as well. All right, tonight we're going to go over a couple of coins that I've been watching. We're going to go over some Ripple news. We're going to go over some XRP news. We're going to go over some Hashgraph news as well. I saw this today. This is from Forbes. This is 5 New Year's resolutions for cryptocurrency. This is right on Forbes' website here. Talking about the Senate needing to, well, first and foremost, sorry about that. If you see any scam ads on this video, please do not participate in those. So this is from Forbes. The Senate should confirm an SEC chair who is open or at least neutral to cryptocurrency and financial innovation. Stop the turf wars between financial regulatory agencies. We've already seen that there is a slew of different regulatory guidance that's being given by multiple different regulatory bodies, which makes it almost impossible to succeed from an innovation standpoint where you don't know if you're potentially violating some sort of a law. You're trying to do everything that you can to work with regulators, or these blockchain companies are trying to do everything they can to comply by the rules and work with these regulators, but it becomes a cluster F, if you know what I mean, trying to probably adhere to all these different rules from all these different organizations. Congress should work in a bipartisan fashion to adopt a rational, common sense approach to cryptocurrency. I agree with that. The SEC should withdraw its lawsuit against Ripple. I don't know if that's going to happen. It would certainly be great, but I think, though, with this Ripple lawsuit, and I'm not overly concerned about what Ripple or what Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse do with their personal holdings of XRP. Honestly, you may feel differently about that. I could care less. What I'm concerned about, and I'm not concerned about really that portion of the lawsuit either. I'm more concerned about what happens with XRP. If XRP gets deemed a currency, that is certainly only going to happen through this court case. And you have to remember, too, this isn't the only case that is against Ripple that is, quote unquote, claiming that XRP is a security. So, this could be the caveat to... not caveat, this could be the catalyst to either a major bull run for XRP, or, if you go the opposite way, which is a possibility, unfortunately, it goes the other way. I've held my XRP. I think you guys know that at this point in time, looking for buying opportunities as usual. And Congress should mitigate China's growing threat on digital assets, certainly. The only way they're going to do that is by coming up with clear and concise guidance for these blockchain and digital asset firms to adhere to, so that we can let technology thrive, let innovation thrive in the United States. It's pretty cut and dry what needs to happen for us to be able to maintain dominance, from an economic standpoint, because make no mistake about it, blockchain and digital currency is the internet of value. It's the future, and it's coming sooner rather than later. So, all right, I saw this a couple days ago. You guys may have seen this, but I did want to touch base on it briefly. This is Ripple Tech to power new Malaysia-Bangladesh remittance corridor. This is Bcash and Malaysia's mobile money. So if you want to read this full article here, you can certainly go to Ripple and do so. I would go on the Ripple website and look at it rather than looking at something from CoinDesk. But this is great for adoption for RippleNet. 45 million users utilize these two platforms. So, at some point, the utility of XRP could potentially play a role in this. I don't believe that it does right now, obviously. But we've seen that XRP utility and usage is really 95% outside of the United States regardless. I just don't want to see innovation move away from the States. So, pay attention to this, pay attention to Bcash, pay attention to mobile money. But as we know, Ripple moves do not affect XRP price. So we're just going to keep paying attention. And, at some point, maybe mobile money and Bcash, we'll utilize XRP for utility purposes. We'll see, though. IMF put out an interesting poll yesterday. Are digital currencies, or is digital money really money? And this is on the IMF's website. You can go check this out. They posted this later on in the day yesterday. I think it was like right around the time that I had already made a video. 170 IMF members took part in this poll. Now, what's interesting to me, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing, is this polling done yesterday would have been so different even if you just did it a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So right now we see law does not limit issuance to banknotes and coins, 40 central banks, 23%. Law is not clear, 27 central banks, 16%. Law only authorizes issuance of banknotes and coins, 104 central banks. So what I think is interesting is that this slice of the pie that you see there, and I think that's in red, I'm like colorblind, so don't worry about that. It's slowly going to be starting to get eaten away by these other two categories here, because we know where this all goes, right? All right, moving forward here. I did see today as well, Polkadot's DOT is now the 4th largest coin in terms of market cap, surpassing XRP. I didn't check on this late, over the past hour. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but I believe very much so that the DOT ecosystem is going to be gigantic. And the reason I say that is because you look at something like Ethereum, and you look at all these projects that are built on top of Ethereum, or all these projects that you need to use these DeFi exchanges, etc., to get into these projects, and you have to pay gas fees, right? That is not sustainable. And there are a lot of projects that are built on Polkadot, are being built on Polkadot and that ecosystem, as well as being tested on the Kusama, the Canary chain, the test net for Polkadot, essentially. But there are so many projects being built on top of DOT. One of which I believe is on Binance, and there's airdrops going on. And I actually, not financial advice, I picked up some Reef probably a little bit like a week ago. And some of these brand new coins are obviously risky. I don't trade out of long-term bags for any of this stuff. I think that I actually just broke above break even at 0.010. But, when I see something that's interesting to me, I get into it. I presented this to Patreon. I know that I presented it in the Twitter chat for the patrons that I have, and I think in the Discord too. But yeah, Reef is an interesting project to me. Certainly tied into Polkadot. This is gateway through to DeFi through liquidity and protocol aggregation, proprietary analytics, and multi-chain accessibility. Powered by Polkadot and on Binance, obviously, as well. I'm going to give you a couple of these ones. This is some of the stuff that I look for. I'm also going to, so I did the update for all the coins that I posted November 6th on Patreon. I posted it on Patreon. I went through, I believe, on a YouTube video recently too. I'm planning on doing another list of those, because I'll talk about that in a second. In my personal opinion, Bitcoin has to slow down. And it's going to either do one of two things to alts. Alts are either going to continue to explode, or they're going to go down a bit. Regardless of what happens, I believe that we're still in this bull run. And I was talking actually to Kevin Cage about this last night. My personal opinion is we're still in this bull run. Blow off top happens sometime in the summer. But I'm looking for opportunities if we go a little bit lower here. And I plan on making a new coin list of a bunch of different coins here, similar to what I did November 16th, here in the next week or two. So investors into Reef, we can see Bitcoin.com. NGC, I'm interested in, this is liquidity. This is all about liquidity. You can read their white paper, et cetera, et cetera. But some of their partnerships down here, they were on here. Come on. Hold on one second. Maybe it's on the main page. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're really small. So 0x. Let me see if I can blow this up. Of course it's not. I think that's Kyber. I think that's Make or Die. Synthetics. And yeah, so I'm this is like one of those new things. It's obviously going to be risky. But I'm paying attention to anything that's in the Polkadot ecosystem. I got into Polka Swap or Polka Starter. Polka Starter, I think is what it was, because Polka Swap is through Sora. Polka Starter like a month and a half ago, and it's went up multiple hundreds of %. So I'm paying attention. I'm trying to keep my eye out for different things. Also posted about Frontier. This ties into Alliance Block. You can check out Frontier on their website as well here. I think I posted, when did I post Frontier? January 4th, but I actually initially posted November 16th. So it's obviously done a 2x, a little bit more than a 2x since November 16th. Looking for price movements on January 4th. And sometimes these things are a little bit lagging. And obviously in a bull market, everybody's a genius, right? But sometimes these things are lagging, but we did see a little bit of a price explosion here. We went from 30 cents up to 50 cents here within like the past, week or so. So paying attention to Frontier as well. Frontier also participates in that Alliance block liquidity mining, which I posted on Twitter. And then a heads up to patrons and anybody on Twitter too that saw that. 9,600% APY was what initially was going on with that. I went on this morning and woke up super early because not financial advice. I participated in that between Ocean, Alliance block, and USDC. And it was crazy. Like it obviously fluctuated based on how many people actually got into that program. By the time I got into it, it was still saying around 1,000%. Right now, if you go on there, it's saying around 230 or maybe like 330%, something like that. Incoming SEC chief, fate of XRP could have wider impact on crypto industry. This is another one of those daily hodl things where it's referencing old information. If you're not aware, this is Gary Gensler. He did say back in 2018, arguing that XRP was a security. He believed that XRP was a security. We've seen a lot of things happen since 2018, ladies and gentlemen. On-demand liquidity, XRapid wasn't even a thing whenever he made this and whenever he had this interview come about. If you're not aware, XRapid was announced during Ripple's annual, swell, like in October of 2018, which obviously provides quite a bit of utility for the XRP token to be able to, or coin to be able to stand up on its own. Along with other things, we've seen the SEC state that things can be securities at one point and then not be securities. I've spoken with people about this too. It may be an unpopular opinion of mine, but it's my opinion. I believe that Ripple certainly was a security at some point, but I believe that XRP at this point in time is certainly not a security. It's decentralized. We know how many nodes that Ripple actually operates compared to the decentralized nature of the network as a whole right now. And we know all the use cases that XRP has. I don't believe that I entered into any sort of an investment contract with Ripple. If you want to read this, so feel free. But again, this is old news. We've seen this. All right, this is from Alliance Block. I'm a big fan of this token, obviously. I'm going to pay attention if there's anything that I see that's worrisome about this. But I think I would be a big fan of anything that's done 6 or 7x since I decided to take the dive into this. Not financial advice whatsoever. But they did their 2020 annual review here. They're talking about a traditional finance partnership that they're going to be announcing soon. If you want to look through this, it's really an interesting document. There's quite a bit of integration and development going on with Alliance Block. We know that just yesterday they announced the liquidity mining with Ocean. I was looking for some sort of a way to get into Ocean, and that, honestly, for me personally, again, not advice, that was the catalyst for me to get into Ocean as well. If you're not aware, that liquidity mining is essentially, you have to have equivalent amounts of whatever the liquidity mining program requires. So like for this one example, this was Ocean, and this is equivalent amounts in fiat, so dollars. Ocean, Alliance Block, and USDC. I believe, based on everything that I've seen, that you can remove your original coins or whatever at any point in time. I signed up for that. I can see how much you get rewarded in Alliance Block and Ocean. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. I'd be interested in potentially maybe doing that if they wanted to reach out to me, because I think it's an awesome, this project essentially bridges DeFi and centralized finance, or at least that's the goal of this. And I think that is the interoperability and everything that goes in with all of this is big. I mean, they're partnered with Link, they're partnered with, I think, Quant. I looked at it before, Ocean. Just quite a bit of integration here. So if you want to read this, go through. They talk about partnerships. Okay, Chainlink, Ocean. No, it's not Quant. Okay, so I was wrong. I lied. Sorry. Chainlink, Ocean, API 3, which I talk about on here. Parsec, Covalent, which I haven't looked into. Parsec and Covalent, I have not looked into these. I don't even know if there's coins to those. Orion, which is very interesting to me. Acon, which I have not looked into. Certic, which I have not looked into. Frontier, I've looked into. Binance Smart Chain and Ramp, I've looked into Ramp. One of my patrons actually recommended Ramp. So yeah, if you want to look through this, feel free on Twitter. All right, Bitcoin. I talked about this multiple times that I thought we were going to come down and touch the 21 EMA. I'm not talking daily 21 EMA though. We can see here that we're playing with it very much so right now. And I told you, we always have to come down. And I mean, it's either going to act as support and it's going to be the catalyst for the next portion of the bull run up, or it's going to act or we're going to break through it and it's going to act as resistance, and then it's going to hold us down for a little bit of time, like it did in the past. I think it was maybe a week or a couple of weeks in the past. I'm not looking at the daily though. I'm more so looking at the weekly, and I think at some point we get close. I don't think we necessarily touch it because maybe too many people are going to be watching that. But yeah, just pay attention to this type of stuff. Don't put all your eggs into crypto. Because you're potentially losing out on good buying opportunities. I always have a little bit of cash on the sidelines personally. Again, not advice, not financial advice, is what I do, to look for these really good buying opportunities. And obviously I don't get every one of them right. But we need to be paying attention, and don't overwhelm yourself either. I overwhelm myself personally with how many coins I try to get into at this point, because I've already loaded my long-term bags with things like XRP, things like Hashgraph, things like Link and Quant. I have a lot, what I would consider a lot for myself. But I'm looking for buying opportunities for some of these smaller ones that could hopefully do much more than a 2 or 3x. And some of them are obviously not going to pan out. Hopefully some of them do. Cobb was another one that I posted I thought was going to go up in price. I think I posted that January 9th. And I posted that like literally right before this giant red candle with the wick. But we can see the moving averages crossing here, which obviously we moved above, which is, these things are bullish here. So, from, what did I post, January 9th or whatever? We touched base on like $1.99, and we obviously wicked above that at this point in time. So Cobb is another one of those projects that I've been looking at getting into. I finally just got into it and said, screw it, I'm just going to do it. This is a newer project that is extremely risky. I am not saying that this thing's going to pan out whatsoever, but this is one of those things. I was searching for new coins. I posted this to Patreon. I posted this on the twat. I posted this on the twat, on the chat as well, on Twitter. And it's just an interesting platform to me. And it's one of those brand new things. It's only on Uniswap. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever, but it reminded me a lot of Augur. We know, like, the betting platform, right? They do have some pretty decent partnerships. They integrate Chainlink oracles. Hold on a second here. They're partnered with Matic, which we know Matic is pretty decently big. Ava Labs, we all know about. Anchor. Anchor is one of those other ones that I'm looking at getting into Anchor if I can. And Chainlink, Tensor Capital, Prometheus Labs, etc., etc. You can read about this project if you want to. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best thing ever. I'm telling you what I did, which is extremely risky. But it's one of those things that I saw when it first initially came out. I read through enough things for me to read through to be like, okay, this is interesting for me enough not to trade out of a long-term bag, but maybe risk something that I'm comfortable with, that I'm not going to miss, that I certainly know could go to zero. And this is like just an example of some of the things that that I try to do, or at least that I'm trying to do right now. And again, this could go to nothing. So I'm not telling you to do it. It might not be the move for you. Coinmain, the Hbarbarian. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this Hashgraph Hackathon. So if you do not follow him, and if you follow Hedera Hashgraph, this guy posts out quite a bit of news. Quick video on some of my thoughts on Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR as we enter what has been dubbed the year of scale for Hedera Hashgraph. And I hope he doesn't mind. I'm going to play about a minute of his video here. I think he's trying to start doing some more on YouTube. Again, this guy's always on Twitter. He catches some stuff with Hedera before I do. I try to look at a lot of different things at once, so sometimes I'm a little bit behind on some things. But he's got 29 subscribers. Please give this guy a subscribe on Twitter if you're in the Hedera Hashgraph community. From what I've seen, he does great work. So yeah, I'm going to play this a little bit. This is a little bit about the hackathon. This talks about Pfizer and PayPal as well. So with this hackathon coming up.
So there's some really bullish breadcrumbs that have come out recently. There's a hackathon starting in a few days' time. It's going to be utilising the brand new Hedera token service. And the panel of judges includes people from Google, council member, but also we've got a judge from Pfizer and a judge from PayPal. And we all know, well, not all of us know, but anyone who's been following the project knows that the head of blockchain at PayPal has been following Hedera for a while on LinkedIn, and also I think it's Brett who runs the global council, used to work for PayPal, so there's probably some easy connections there. So I wouldn't be surprised if PayPal is a new council member in the next few weeks. I really hope so, because
again, this guy puts out great information, not hypey, a little bit speculative, just like I do, just like anybody that's in this space. We're all speculators, right, to an extent. And we're all looking for things. So yeah, Coinmain, the Hbarbarian, I will put his YouTube link down in this video as well. If you're not aware, this hackathon is from January 19th to February 12th. And there are some major players in this. Not just PayPal, not just Google, not just, Pfizer. Pfizer's a giant, though, by the way. I don't think I even need to explain PayPal. But this is FPOS. And FPOS is essentially the debit card system in Australia. And I think it's New Zealand as well. But we know that FPOS has partnered with Hedera Hashgraph already, and they're trying to utilize Hashgraph for micropayment services, et cetera, et cetera. So FPOS is looking for the best HTS Hedera token service supported browser extension, MetaMask or Ethereum. They've got prizes there. And, we can see who these judges are going to be. So sales engineer at Google Cloud, co-founder of the Never Alone initiative at the Chopra Foundation. This is Deepak Chopra. Blockchain strategy at PayPal. Lehman Baird, obviously, the co-founder and chief data scientist at Hedera Hashgraph. We've got Chopra Foundation again. LG Electronics. LG is a board member. Professional athlete, or Galaxy and professional athlete. FPOS and Pfizer and Wipro. Wipro's gigantic. BitGo's, we know what BitGo is. But Pfizer's gigantic. If you're not aware what Pfizer is, American multinational pharmaceutical corporation, one of the world's largest pharmaceutical corporations. Companies, it is ranked 64 on the 2020 Fortune 500 list of largest United States corporations by total revenue. Now, interestingly enough, Pfizer isn't new to this space as far as blockchain initiatives is concerned. And we know Hashgraph's obviously not a blockchain, but you get what I'm saying. Anonymous DNA sequencing and new smart contract platform launches. And this ties in with this clinical supply blockchain working group, which is led by Pfizer, Biogen, and Ledger Domain. I know that Pfizer has a vaccine rolling out, right? I don't know. It's just, I don't want to get into this too much, but I don't want to go there. But yeah, so Pfizer has a vaccine rolling out. We know that they're not new to distributed ledger technology, anonymous DNA sequencing, and new smart contract platform launches. I just combined a couple of dots, and I don't like what I was going to say. Wow. Okay, but Pfizer's a giant, though, right? Anyways, Hashgraph is obviously involved in the medical field as well. Hedera Hashgraph is the DLT platform of AVC Global. If you didn't watch my video from a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday or whatever, this is tied very much so into the Kingdom of Bahrain. They essentially work for the government. This is tied into Kyriba. This is tied into this quote-unquote MVC platform. This is medical value chain. AVC is deeply tied into Hashgraph. So I am curious to see where this goes. And, what's interesting to me, if you're not aware, here's the governing board of Hedera Hashgraph. Avery Dennison, giant. Boeing, giant. Denton, giant. Deutsche Telekom, giant. DLA Piper. Fidelity Information Services. Google, IBM, LG. Magalu, I'm sure, is big. I have to look into them. Nomura, Swirlds, Tata Communications, UCL, Wipro, and Zane, right? That's 16. Did I count right? Is that 16? And Hedera is aiming to have 39 members. So we're not even halfway there yet. I'm curious to see what organizations choose to join the governing board of Hedera Hashgraph, and they essentially own the network. They decide on the rules and the rules and the operation of that network. And yeah, I think that there's going to be great things in store for HBAR. I hope. And we'll just take everything with a grain of salt. But this is where we are. Not financial advice for any of those smaller cap coins. I'm literally at this point just trying to do a little bit of due diligence and find projects that I think can gain whatever, more than 2x or 3x the potential. And if I lose 30% or 40% in the process of finding, if I do 10 and I try to make 5 or 6 or 7 or 8x on 2 out of those 10 and I lose 20% on some of the other ones, I could really care less. Everything's about doing a little bit of research, trying to mitigate risk as much as you possibly can. I have long-term bags packed in this space. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. And I will certainly talk to you guys tomorrow if there is news to present. All right, later.